Hey everybody, today I'm talking about Six Nimmt, which is a pretty small card game by Wolfgang Kramer, who happens to be one of my favourite designers. He's normally known for his bigger box games, but this, as I said, is a smaller one. The game consists of 104 cards that look like this. The game plays 3 to 10 players, but I don't know if I'd recommend playing with up to 10. I'd probably say maybe 4 to 6 players is probably the sweet spot. So you're going to start the game like this. You're going to put 4 different rows out in ascending order, and you're going to give each player 10 cards. And obviously these would be secret, but for the purpose of this video, they're going to be face up. Now, obviously the information on the cards is not only the number, you can see the cards also have like a bull head assigned to them. So some have more than others, as you can see the 11 here. Because it's a double number, a 1 and a 1, you get 5 bull heads for that one and just 1 for some others. Some have 2, some have 3, so there is a variation. Now the objective of the game is to get as few bull heads as possible because they are essentially minus points, which is what you don't want. So you want the least amount of bull heads to win the game. So the game is going to work like this. So as I said, everybody's going to have 10 cards each in secret, and they are all going to pick one. For example, let's say I pick this 87 here. They're going to put them face down, and then once everybody's picked one, they're all going to reveal them together. So let's say I picked that one, and let's just, for the sake of the video, let's say we're playing a 4-player game, everybody picks these ones here. So what I would do is in ascending order or in chronological order, starting from the lowest, we will assign them to a certain space. So 31, this is a strange example actually. What would normally happen is that you would go in chronological order in the space closest that it could be above. So this is not a good example because this 31 is lower than all of these. So what you would do in this example is you would take a card, take a row of your choice as minus points and replace it with the one you've just played. So let's say that one, I play that one down, I take the 36 and that would be minus points for that player. Then the next player is this one here, 37. So again, it's the closest to a 31, so it goes there. The next one is a 41. Again, that would go there. And the 87 would go here. Because again, it's the closest to the pre card to it. It doesn't matter if you're under. As I said, if it was under, you would take the minus point. So then we go again. So let's say I pick, let's just, for example, say I play a 51 here. So again, secret down, everybody plays a card, they all flip them simultaneously. And again, in player order, so this player would go first. He can't place any because again, it's lower than all these columns, all these rows. So he would take this card here, take that as a negative point. Next number is a 51. So that would actually go there because again, it's closer to 41 than is anything else because it's below these two, but it's closer to the 41 than it is to the 8. And then the 83 would play, which means it would go here because again, it's below 87, but above 57. And finally, the 91 would also go there. So let's show you what happens once these rows fill up. So eventually you might find yourself in a position that looks like this. So let's go through an example of what would happen in this scenario. So basically I've chosen to play the 67, then the other players play these cards, like so. So again, in ascending order, so 33 would go first. Again, it's lower than all of these numbers, so it's going to take the one with the least amount of bull heads, so it will take these two here and leave the 33 there. Then the 35 would slip right in there. The 44 would also slip in there, but as you see, I played the 67. Now the 67 would slip here because again, it's closer to 55 than it is the 44, and it's below these two. So as soon as I play the 6th card on a row, I am forced to take all the other cards in that row, which is obviously a lot of negative points. And then the one I played would go here like this, starting a new row. And that's basically how the game plays. You're trying to get as least amount of points as possible. You're trying to play your cards as efficiently as possible because as you're playing round by round, you're running out of options. So there's quite a few decisions you actually have to make. You know, are you going to play a lower card and kind of bite the bullet and take a row with a few bull heads? but doing so might give your opponents a bit of opportunity to sneak in behind you. You know, are you going to try and sneak in a gap and hope no one sneaks before you so you're not forced to take a row? You know, how are you going to use your cards, or how are you going to manage your hand to try and give yourself a bit of flexibility? So there's actually quite a lot of thought that goes into this game for a very straightforward concept. You know, this game does receive a bit of criticism at times, saying that there's not really any strategy to it. You can only it's just a game of pure luck, but I completely disagree with that. I think the decisions are really interesting, and you've got to really anticipate about what other players are going to do. You know, it's such a straightforward game mechanically. You just pick a card, flip it over. You know, the downtime is next to nothing because it's all simultaneous play. You can play as many rounds as you want, or you can play to a certain amount of bullheads, you know, to trigger the end game. So there's a lot of flexibility to it. I think the replayability there is there because it's such a simple concept, and you know, it's so accessible and easy to teach and easy to learn. The player interaction is hilarious at times because you want to kind of really shaft your opponents by forcing them to take a row, maybe by doing something they wouldn't expect you to do. So there's a lot of things that go into this. The card quality is pretty decent, at least in the version I have. Nice and clear cards. The bullheads are, you know, they're cool concepts, and just the varying kind of point levels adds a bit of interest to it. And I just really enjoy this game. It's a classic for a reason. I said it's 25 years old now, this game, and it still holds up extremely well. It's just enjoyed by, you know, everybody I've played it with. So that's Six Nimmt, a really classic, great little card game by Wolfgang Kramer, who, you know, I kind of consider as one of the all-time greats. So definitely recommend this one. It gets a very good verdict from me. That's quite a high acclaim for such a small little card game, and I really think you'd have a hard time not to enjoy it. That's Six Nimmt. Go check it out.